What if I told you that one of history's largest and most advanced civilizations rose from a simple river basin, yet its story remains overshadowed by the likes of Egypt and Mesopotamia? The Indus Valley Civilization flourished along the banks of the Indus River and its tributaries, covering over 1.2 million square kilometers across present-day Pakistan, northwest India, and parts of Afghanistan and Iran. But what made this river system so special? The Indus River didn't just provide water, it created life. Its predictable floods enriched the soil, making the region one of the most fertile in the ancient world. Early settlers recognized this potential and harnessed the river's power, giving rise to farming communities that would later evolve into thriving urban centers. These were no ordinary villages. They were the foundation of what would become one of the Bronze Age's most remarkable civilizations. But the Indus wasn't the only factor at play. The region's geography, bordered by the Himalayas to the north and deserts to the east, offered natural protection and isolation, allowing this civilization to develop independently. At the same time, the interconnected rivers served as highways for trade and cultural exchange, linking settlements and fostering innovation. In many ways, the Indus Valley was a natural cradle of civilization, but it wasn't just nature that worked its magic, it was human ingenuity. The Harappans didn't merely adapt to their environment, they transformed it, laying the groundwork for an economy and society that would rival the best of their contemporaries. How did these early settlers turn this fertile land into the heart of a lost civilization? Their journey was just beginning. The success of the Indus Valley Civilization began with its mastery of agriculture. In a world where survival often depended on the whims of nature, the Harappans turned farming into a science. They didn't just grow crops, they revolutionized the way food was produced and managed. At the heart of this transformation was the Indus agriculture revolution. The Harappans pioneered techniques like crop rotation and floodplain farming, maximizing the productivity of their fertile lands. Seasonal calendars guided their planting and harvesting, ensuring a steady food supply even in the face of changing weather. These innovations didn't just feed their communities, they created a surplus, enabling population growth and the development of cities like Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro. But their ingenuity didn't stop there. The Harappans developed irrigation systems that channeled river water to their fields, ensuring crops thrived even during dry spells. Water-retaining basins and wells dotted their settlements, reflecting an early understanding of sustainable agriculture. This wasn't just survival, it was forward-thinking resource management. Their agricultural success wasn't an isolated achievement, it was the foundation of their urbanization. The food surplus allowed them to focus on building cities, developing trade, and creating infrastructure. Unlike many of their Bronze Age counterparts, the Harappans didn't rely on coercion or conquest to fuel their growth. Their power came from their ability to harness the land and turn its bounty into prosperity. In the story of the Indus Valley Civilization, agriculture was more than a means to an end. It was the spark that ignited a superpower. Their farming innovations didn't just sustain their society, they transformed it, paving the way for one of history's most remarkable civilizations. How did they sustain this delicate balance between nature and progress? Their legacy offers a fascinating glimpse into the resilience of ancient ingenuity. Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro weren't just cities. They were marvels of engineering and planning that set the standard for urban development in the ancient world. But how did these cities come to life? What drove the Harappans to create urban centers so advanced they would remain unmatched for centuries? The transformation from farming communities to sprawling cities began with deliberate planning and collaboration. Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro were strategically located along key trade routes in the Indus River system, ensuring access to resources, water, and transportation. These locations weren't chosen by chance, they were hubs of connectivity and commerce, perfectly positioned to thrive. Mohenjo-Daro, covering over 300 hectares, housed tens of thousands of residents. Its grid-based layout reflected a level of precision rarely seen in the ancient world. Streets intersected at right angles, dividing the city into distinct sections for administrative, residential, and commercial purposes. Harappa displayed similar ingenuity, with baked brick buildings, shared infrastructure, and advanced drainage systems that connected every home, regardless of size, to a central sewer network. These cities weren't just practical, they were revolutionary. The uniformity of their construction suggests a society that valued collective well-being over individual wealth. There were no towering palaces or temples, no monuments to rulers or gods. Instead, resources were directed toward infrastructure that served everyone, a stark contrast to the hierarchical societies of Mesopotamia and Egypt. But how did they achieve this level of organization without a centralized monarchy? With no evidence of kings or armies, the Harappans seemed to have built their cities through collective effort and shared purpose. This raises a profound question. Could their decentralized model of governance hold lessons for us today? Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro weren't just cities, they were symbols of what humanity could achieve through innovation and cooperation. Their rise marked the beginning of a civilization that would leave an enduring legacy, even as much about them remains shrouded in mystery. How did they sustain such harmony and progress for so long? Their story challenges us to rethink the foundations of urban life and societal success. Trade was the lifeblood of the Indus Valley Civilization, connecting its cities to distant lands and shaping its economy and culture. But this wasn't trade as we know it. It was an intricate web of exchanges that spanned continents and transformed the Bronze Age world. The Harappans were master traders, and their economy was built on precision and trust. They developed standardized weights and measures, enabling consistent and fair transactions across vast distances. These tools, along with intricately carved seals bearing unique symbols and animal motifs, served as markers of authenticity and quality. Harappan seals have been discovered in Mesopotamian cities like Ur and Sumer, providing undeniable evidence of their extensive trade network. What were they trading? Luxury goods like lapis lazuli, carnelian beads, and fine cotton textiles were highly sought after by their Mesopotamian counterparts. In return, the Harappans likely imported items such as silver, tin, and other resources not available in their region. These exchanges weren't just about goods, they were about culture, fostering mutual influence and shared ideas between civilizations. The geography of the Indus Valley played a crucial role in facilitating this trade. Rivers served as natural highways, transporting goods efficiently between cities. Overland routes connected them to Central Asia and the Persian Gulf, making the Harappan civilization a vital link in the ancient trade networks of the Bronze Age. But what's most remarkable is how this trade was managed. Unlike other civilizations, where trade was often centralized under kings or temples, the Harappans appeared to rely on decentralized systems. Merchants and communities likely coordinated exchanges independently, supported by the shared infrastructure and standardization that defined their economy. Trade wasn't just an economic activity for the Harappans, it was a cornerstone of their identity. It connected them to the broader world, enriched their culture, and fueled their innovation. But it also raises intriguing questions. How far did their influence truly extend? And what might we learn from their trading practices about fostering cooperation and trust on a global scale? The Harappans remind us that trade isn't just about commerce, it's about connection, and their legacy continues to inspire. The Indus Valley Civilization wasn't merely shaped by its geography, it was defined by it. The unique interplay between land, water, and climate turned this region into a cradle of innovation, prosperity, and resilience. But how exactly did geography chart the course of their rise and ultimate decline? The Harappan River basin, fed by the Indus River and its tributaries, was a natural boon for early settlers. Predictable seasonal flooding deposited nutrient-rich silt across the plains, making the land exceptionally fertile. This allowed for the development of sustainable agriculture, a cornerstone of their economy. Unlike the volatile Tigris and Euphrates of Mesopotamia, the Indus River offered a more stable foundation for farming, fostering long-term growth and security. Geography also acted as a natural network. The Indus River system interconnected cities like Harappa, Mohenjo-Daro, and Dholavira, facilitating trade and cultural exchange. These waterways didn't just connect people, they enabled the distribution of goods, ideas, and innovations across vast distances, helping to unify this sprawling civilization. Natural barriers played their part as well. The towering Himalayas to the north and the arid Thar Desert to the east provided protection from invasions, allowing the Harappans to focus on development rather than defense. This relative isolation helped them maintain stability and independence while still engaging in long-distance trade with Mesopotamia and other regions. However, the geography that nurtured them also posed challenges. Shifting tectonic plates led to changes in river courses, causing vital waterways like the Saraswati to dry up. This environmental shift forced the Harappans to adapt, developing reservoirs and irrigation systems to mitigate water scarcity. Yet even their ingenuity had its limits. As rivers disappeared and agricultural land became less productive, cities began to decline. The decentralized nature of their urban centers was another fascinating outcome of geography. Unlike Egypt's centralized Nile Valley or Mesopotamia's hierarchical city-states, the Harappans developed a network of semi-independent cities connected by shared cultural and economic ties. This model allowed them to adapt to local conditions while maintaining a broader unity, a testament to their flexibility and resourcefulness. But geography was ultimately both their strength and their vulnerability. It gave them the resources to rise, but also presented challenges that would test their resilience. The story of the Indus Valley Civilization reminds us of the delicate balance between humans and their environment, a relationship that continues to shape societies to this day. How much of their success can be credited to their geography, and how much to their ingenuity in harnessing it? The answer lies in the ruins of their cities and the lessons they offer for living in harmony with the natural world. Climate change is often viewed as a destructive force, but in the early stages of the Indus Valley Civilization, it may have been a catalyst for success. Stable and favorable climatic conditions provided the foundation for their agricultural and societal achievements, helping to transform this river basin into a Bronze Age powerhouse. During their rise, the region enjoyed consistent monsoons that provided a reliable rainfall. These conditions supported the fertile plains of the Indus River system, enabling farmers to produce abundant crops. This agricultural surplus wasn't just a sign of stability, it was a launchpad for innovation. With enough food to sustain large populations, the Harappans could focus on building cities, developing trade networks, and advancing their culture. The Harappans didn't just rely on favorable conditions, they actively adapted to them. They built reservoirs to store water during dry spells, dug canals to irrigate their fields, and constructed flood control systems to protect their cities. These innovations allowed them to make the most of their environment while mitigating risks. Their sustainable agriculture practices were a key driver of their success, setting them apart from other civilizations of the time. But climate change wasn't always on their side. As the civilization reached its peak, monsoons weakened and rivers like the Saraswati began to dry up. These changes strained their agricultural systems and disrupted trade routes, challenging their ability to sustain their cities. Yet the Harappans displayed remarkable resilience. They adapted to these shifts by diversifying their crops, conserving water, and decentralizing their urban centers to reduce the strain on any single location. Comparisons with other Bronze Age civilizations highlight their resourcefulness. While Mesopotamian fields suffered from salinization and Egyptian reliance on the Nile led to periodic famine, the Harappans' focus on sustainability gave them a significant advantage. Their decentralized model of governance also allowed them to distribute resources and adapt to local conditions more effectively. Yet, climate change ultimately played a role in their decline. As conditions became harsher, even their advanced systems couldn't prevent the gradual abandonment of their cities. But their story isn't one of failure, it's one of adaptation and endurance. The techniques they pioneered influenced later societies and offer lessons for modern challenges. Could their decline have been avoided? And more importantly, what can we learn from their innovations in the face of environmental change? The Harappans' ability to thrive in harmony with their environment speaks to the importance of resilience and adaptability. Their legacy is a reminder that while nature can shape civilizations, human ingenuity has the power to overcome even the most daunting challenges. How might their story guide us as we face our own era of climate uncertainty? The answers lie in the innovations they left behind and the lessons they continue to teach. The Indus Valley Civilization, or Harappan civilization, was not just an ancient society, it was a masterclass in sustainability, resilience, and ingenuity. From the fertile plains of the Indus River to the intricately planned cities of Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro, the Harappans crafted a civilization that thrived for centuries in harmony with its environment. But their story is more than just an account of their achievements. It's a mirror reflecting timeless lessons for our modern world. Their legacy begins with their remarkable urban planning. At a time when many civilizations were struggling to manage basic settlements, the Harappans were building cities that prioritized efficiency, hygiene, and equality. Their standardized weights and measures revolutionized trade, creating networks that connected them to Mesopotamia and beyond. Their irrigation systems and sustainable agriculture practices supported growing populations while maintaining balance with the environment. But perhaps their most profound achievement was their societal ethos. Unlike the monumental egos of Egypt or the hierarchical city-states of Mesopotamia, the Harappans built a society that emphasized community over conquest, practicality over pomp, and innovation over indulgence. They didn't leave behind towering pyramids or royal tombs. They left systems and ideas that quietly transformed the ancient world. Yet their mysteries endure. The undeciphered Indus script holds secrets that could reshape our understanding of their governance, culture, and beliefs. Their egalitarian model challenges us to rethink the narratives of ancient power structures. And their responses to climate and environmental change remind us that sustainability isn't a modern concept, it's a survival strategy as old as civilization itself. But why does their story matter today? Because the challenges they faced, climate change, resource management, and maintaining societal balance, are the very challenges we grapple with in the 21st century. Their innovations in sustainable agriculture, decentralized governance, and water conservation offer lessons that feel startlingly relevant. What if their approach to community and environment holds the key to solving the problems of our time? The Indus Valley Civilization may be a lost world, but its spirit endures. Their story isn't just about the past, it's about the possibilities of the future. They remind us that greatness doesn't always shout. It often whispers through the ruins of history waiting to be rediscovered. As we uncover more of their secrets, the Harappans challenge us to ask the big questions. How can we learn from their resilience? How can we build systems that prioritize balance and sustainability? And what other hidden lessons lie buried beneath the sands of time? The Indus Valley Civilization's legacy isn't over. It's still teaching, still inspiring, and still waiting for the world to listen.